Hello and welcome to episode 84 of Missle Industries Ford Falcon 351 project. Now, if we cast our minds back to the start of the year, when I did my console project, there wasn't really a great deal of floor insulation to be seen. Now, after our big long drive west the other day, there was a little bit of complaining about the noise in the cabin. Now, I like the noise of my Falcon. Half the reason I have a Ford is the Cleveland sound, but maybe it could just stand to be a little bit quieter. So on this episode, I'm going to buy some insulation kit, a couple of insulation kits probably, and I'm going to go about insulating the floor of my car because there really isn't much sound deadening in the floor of this car. It's just bare metal with some like Hessian sacking material underneath the carpet. I don't know if that's factory or not, but obviously in 2022 we can do better than that. First things first, I'm going to need to take a measurement of how much sounding material I'm going to need to buy. I suspect I'm going to need at least 2 kits to do the entire floor pan. And I have my trusty tape measure right here to figure it out. I should add that this video is not going to be an instructional how-to on how to insulate your car. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of those on the internet already. This is more going to be someone who's never done it before, fumbling his way through the process for your entertainment. So, from the firewall to the back seat, I've got about 1.8 meters. It's probably safe to say it's 1.8 by 1.8. That'll give me a margin for error and wastage. Better go see how many kits that's going to cost me. So I've just returned from Autobarn and they had everything I needed in stock, which is super handy. So I've grabbed this installation kit, which has the roller, the aluminium tape, knife, spare blades, bottle opener, and a stubby caller. Isn't that nice? Yeah, this stuff is super heavy, so I imagine that its properties for sound deadening are going to be very good, because these 2 kits are enough to do the entire floor of my car. I've already weighed them because I'm a bit of a weight weenie. There's 17 kilos between them, so that's quite a bit of weight. But I'm not building this car to go fast. I'm building this car to be a cruiser. I've got to say it, after a quick cleanup, these floors are in pretty good order. As you can see, there's very little evidence of any rust on the driver's side. On the passenger side, you can see where I would say the heater box has leaked, and even then that's only a bit of surface rust. The worst is this floor bung here, which actually has rust all the way through it. You can see my fingers under there, so what I think I might do is take that off and just knock up a quick one out of some sheet metal and put it back over the hole. That way this piece of cancer can be removed and we can move on with the next phase of this project. Actually, in saying that, I might get some, what should I say, I might get some rust converter for the floor while I'm here. Just give this floor a bit of a treatment before all the Butyl goes on. Something I have noticed since I've pulled all the carpet up, look at this big dent in the floor here. You can see how the whole floor pan is pushed up. There's a big crease right here where something's smacked into the bottom of the floor, probably from back in the day when this was paddock bashed, you know, in between it becoming a classic car and being new. Someone would have paddock bashed it, and that is a pretty horrendous dent. Before I get any further carried away, time to try and get that out, and I will actually see if I can knock that flat just because it bothers me every time I look at it now. Very rusty. Still looks good. Time for one last look at these floors. I've wire wheeled all of the loose rust away from all of the contours, and now it is time for me to apply some rust converter to all the bits that are rust coloured or shiny. So that's where we are with that. And I'll do this tonight, and tomorrow morning I'll be able to start laying the Butyl sheets down. Rust converter has been applied. Even applied some to my home-built shifter assembly. Done the rest of the floor pan, in and around the seat brackets and everything. It's all got a thin coating of this rust converter. Now tomorrow morning I should be able to start putting down those Butyl sheets. Summary time for episode 84. What started out as what I thought was going to be a simple job of pulling out the interior and laying down some pads has morphed into probably a few days job, because the floor pan needed some treatment. I've got to make up a new bung because one of them was completely rusted out. I did a bit of floor panel beading. I couldn't leave it like that. I've done the floor panel beading now, and that's 10 PM and it's time for me to wrap this episode up and have a fresh start in the morning, where I'll need to be making that floor bung to fit, putting some body deadener in around it and sealing it back up, and then I'll get to put my Butyl sheets in. And hopefully, since I'll have the whole day, hopefully I'll get to wrap that up in tomorrow's episode, episode 85. And since it's yet another rainy weekend, what better thing to do than hang out in the shed with my car?